Hi lovelies and welcome back to another TikTok video. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, to those people that share my video, leave commentaries, and to my newest members, you guys are the real MVP. All right, lovelies, let's get into this video. But before then, don't forget that this page or channel does not support any form of violence. We are just here for educational purposes, guys. All right, lovelies, let's get into it. So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I thought to share with you guys where this professor was actually telling and explaining why they actually want to keep the African in poverty, because if Africa is able to escape from poverty, this will create a generational wealth in Africa and make the West to be in poverty. Like they intentionally create or they intentionally make Africans to be in poverty. Guys, I was just able to put up some stitch as well as my own stitch by the end of the video, because just listen attentively to what he has to say there. By the end of the video, I'll be leaving my own thoughts. Alright, lovelies, just leaving your own thoughts in the comment section. And don't forget that this channel does not support any form of violence. We are just here for educational purposes, guys. So share this video, subscribe if you've not done that already, like and leaving your own thoughts in the comment section. And if you're coming from Belinda Strand, you are welcome. Thank you so much for all the love and support. I cannot take it all for granted. Alright, let's listen to what you have to say about how the West were able to keep Africa in poverty just for them to create wealth in the West. Alright, like this.
Dr. Howard explains why the West and China wants Africa to remain poor.
Africa, historically, sub-Saharan Africa, has been fundamental to the global prosperity of the advanced countries. Okay? And Africa had a role to play. It has a role as a raw material producer. We will not allow sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is. And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap. Okay, so that's the message. It doesn't mean to say that there's nothing Africans can do. Of course there is. Okay, but this is the opposition that they're fighting. This is what it's about. Because if Africa does do something different, I assure you living standards of all those in Europe and North America and Asia is going to fall. Okay, and that is a big price to pay. I assure you that the West is not going to allow that without a big fight. Okay, so this is what it's fundamentally about. What I want to show you is how these structures are operating. It's just 20 minutes, so we can't do very much, but just to give you a little bit of an idea. And why I keep the ideology part there is because we are part of the producers of ideology. At universities and academic institutions, we are complicit in this whole enterprise. Okay, so the job of many Western academics is to convince Africans they have to keep doing what they're doing. Okay, and to show them it's your fault that you're poor. It's not our fault. It's your fault that you're poor. So this is what we do in academic institutions, and I want to show that as well. We just start. This is what it's basically about, so you know what it's about. But I want to just show you the extent to which Africa is specializing in the production of raw materials and basic agricultural goods. We know the basic forces that have caused this underdevelopment. We know its colonization. I will not discuss that very much because my colleague speaker is going to go into some aspects of this. But I do want to discuss the global economic structures, the global financial institutions, and economic ideology, briefly, to give you a flavor of those. The thing that you really need to see is the top line. Okay, and the extent of dependency is captured by this statistic at the top. Okay, and you compare it with all other income groups, and what you see is essentially in that one statistic how dependent sub-Saharan Africa is on raw material production. Okay, this is the very heart of what makes sub-Saharan Africa beat. Okay, here, just to have a look at one very important additional statistic. With all this export coming from sub-Saharan Africa, how much does sub-Saharan Africa account for in terms of global trade value? We know there are vast resources coming from there, but look at the bottom line in terms of global trade value. Look at that. 0.5%. 1975, 0.95% going down to 0.1. To 0.1, meaning that with all these vast resources being produced, how much are they getting for it? Nothing. Nothing. This is a very significant piece of data. Then I just want to show you what has happened to sub-Saharan Africa, because what we know, and from all studies, no country ever develops without manufacturing. Okay, producing raw materials will not take you anywhere. Producing basic agricultural goods will not take you anywhere. And let's have a look at how much manufacturing activity takes place in sub-Saharan Africa. We can look over the last 15 odd years. 15, 20 years. And we see manufacturing has actually declined as a percentage of the total. This is percentages of total production in sub-Saharan Africa. How much of it is accounted for by manufacturing? So this figure here is 17% of the total. Most of the rest, when we talk of industry, it includes manufacturing, but the bulk of it is mining. Okay? Raw material extraction. This is the bulk of it. And here we see actually raw material extraction has stayed the same. What has caused industry to fall is the fall in manufacturing production. This is deliberate, because we will never, as Western economists, as Western policymakers, we cannot afford to allow Africa to industrialize and start producing manufactures. Okay, so we will do everything to stop that. And I'm going to show you how we actually block that. It's obvious in certain ways, but it's less obvious in other ways. Now, we have actually seen periods of rapid growth in sub-Saharan Africa, misleading people, saying, oh, you know, we're now doing much better. And this has happened recently. Recently, I've had students come and tell me, we've done much better now. And you can see growth rates rose quite sharply in recent times. Now are starting to go again down. But if you look historically, the same thing happened earlier. Why? Because in these two periods, we had East Asian rapid industrialization processes. So in the earlier period, we had Japan and Korea and Taiwan. Okay, rapid growth, sucking in raw materials from Africa, driving up the prices, and then sub-Saharan African countries grew. Exporting raw materials, they grew. But after those countries finished industrialization, then sub-Saharan African growth rate again fell. Okay, but along comes China. Next wave. Okay, again, sub-Saharan African growth rises, but now China is going down. As many of you now know from the press, China is going down. But sub-Saharan Africa is going down even faster. And we're going to go back to where we were again, with very low prices of raw materials, very low growth rates, and again, the sorts of poverty that we saw once before. Because, bottom line, sub-Saharan Africa is condemned to this role, just the supplier of raw materials, not a manufacturer.
Dr. Howard explains why the West and China wants Africa to remain poor.
Africa, historically, sub-Saharan Africa has been fundamental to the global.
Wow. With what is happening in Congo today, I believe that this man is actually spitting the fact. This is actually what is happening in Congo. They want Congo, these people, to, keep on digging, keep on suffering, keep on being in all kinds of danger and all of that, all because they want the wealth to develop, all because they want the Western countries to develop. They are using Congo to produce the gadgets we are all using today. But the people that these products and services were collected from in their own country are suffering. Like, these people actually, intentionally want to keep the African countries or African continent under their own control, because they wouldn't want them to supersede the Westerns. They wouldn't, because when they see that the African countries is beginning to, create wealth and all of that, it's going to affect the level of their living, or the development, and their standard of growth will just drop if they allow the African continent to create their own wealth. This is why they are in control of everything. They don't want to allow Africans to breathe. They don't want to allow Africans to live poverty. They actually are in control of everything. Like, this is what has been happening. This has been happening, and a lot of people don't even know about it until the incident of this Congo comes about. Congo is one of the countries that we can use as an emphasis or as an example. There are other countries that they are in control, using the people of that country. Like, look at just what is happening in these places. This genocide. People are suffering. People are dying of poverty. But are using, oh my God. Oh my goodness. When I saw this video on my For You page on TikTok, I was like, are you kidding me right now? I just remembered what has been happening. Like, they are using Africa to develop themselves. Practically everything that is in all these developed countries are gotten and brought from Africa. Like these people, oh my goodness, they've been colonizing Africa even after the end of slave and free, and they don't want to stop. They don't want to stop because they believe that when Africa or people of color begin to make their own money great, where they will want to revenge of what happened in the past. They are just so scared. They are so scared. Because of that, they tried to control and always put these people down and always put them under their own control, making African as a whole to suffer. A lot of African countries are suffering, but this will actually have a hand in it. They have a hand in it to the suffering that's going over in Africa. Like, to look at Sudan. Like, oh my goodness. Guys, we all need to just open our eyes. We really need to open. We need to create more awareness about what is happening in Congo. We need to create more awareness about what is happening in Sudan. We need to create awareness of what is happening all over the African continent, or all over the African countries. Because these people, they actually know what they're doing. They are in control of everything, because they are scared of people of color maybe taking over, or maybe creating their own thing, or generating their own wealth. They are just scared that we might one day take over. and suppress them. They are scared. This is why they want to keep monitoring. This is why they want to keep, you know, investing more. This is why, Dr. Umar was like, okay, we all should concentrate on ourselves, on how to develop ourselves, on how to start creating our own wealth, on how to have maybe, the black banks, money, and all of that. Now I am beginning to understand him. Like, we have been, earned and enslaved right from time, and we are still under these people's mercy. Like, oh my goodness. When I saw this, I was so wowed. I was like, are you kidding me right now? I was like, this is actually true. This is actually what is happening. Look at the way he was just demonstrating it. Wow. Africa, we need to wake up. We need to do something for ourselves. We should all just stop complaining and start doing something. We should all just stop complaining or we should just stop waiting for them to come do something for us, that we can actually start doing something for ourselves. Because this is just getting out of hand. They do not want us to breathe in peace. Like, why not just leave Congo alone? Even if you want to mime something or get yourself some workforce and stop using, underage people so as to satisfy your own, like, seriously. Do you know that because of what is happening in Congo, a man have to set him or herself on fire? A man have to set himself on fire just to prove points, just to tell the media that something like this is happening in Congo, that they need help. This thing has been happening during years, thousands of years, but nobody is talking about it. They try as much as they can to switch the media from that place. Nobody can reach what is even happening. Nobody can explain what is happening in Congo until this man was able to set himself on fire just to get the attention of the media. Like, Congo is just an example. You don't know which other countries that they have been doing this to. Like, what up? This is so not nice. Let's call a spade a spade. We are all human in the sight of God. We are all, no one is less than a human. Enough of all this already. Enough of all the superiority already. Enough of all this supremacy already. What is all of this? Hey guys, why not leaving your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video? Do not forget that this channel does not support any form of violence. We are just here for educational purposes, guys. If you're coming from Belinda's channel, thank you so much for all your love and support. Like this video, share, subscribe if you've not done that already, and I will see you lovelies when I upload my next video. If you have watched up to this extent, thank you so much for all the love and support. Why not leaving your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video? And also, if you've not subscribed up to this extent, oh my goodness, click on the subscription button, leave your comment in the section. I will see you lovelies when I upload my next video.